Oh, hey, what's up, guys? I'm Triple 45 here. I'm messing with the filters a little bit of the camera. Also, because the lighting in this room kind of sucks right now, so you gotta deal with the gray filter a little bit. And honestly, there's a question that I want to be talking about right now as I'm making this video. So apparently, Netflix has obtained the rights to, ironically, the Bioshock. I'm like, wow, that's impressive. That's great. And I was kept thinking, Bioshock would make either a great film if it's a standalone, like, film with like different characters in it each time, or if they did it as a limited series, each episode could be something taking place within the Bioshock universe, whether that be Rapture, Columbia, or like a new utopian somewhere in the United States, or like under the sea, or like in any country really. That honestly felt like a great idea, a great concept, or it could have been like an interactive choose your own adventure film, film like the Black Mirror special that we got on Netflix, or even just anything. I felt like that would have been a great idea. Hell, even one of my favorite directors, Guillermo del Toro, was on the project. I probably would have been excited. I would have been happy. But that's not what we're kind of here to talk about. That it's a little bit of discussion, a little bit of rant. Is that do we even need a Bioshock movie? Well, honestly, they are still working on a new game over there at 2K Publishing, and I don't know which one at 2K Interactive or even 2K is making it. But at the same time, for at least for the game, that is. But as for the movie right now, I'm still trying to look up at. I'm truly am trying to look up on exactly who's all on board it. This one recently just announced, so honestly only assume probably when they get to the next Tadam event later on this year, we'll probably get more information about that. But at the same time, it's like I don't know 100% sure if I'm fully on board. Thing. On one thing, awesome, more Bioshock. That's awesome. Is it gonna be in Rapture, the city of Columbia? I don't know, but at the same time, this is only concerning for me. Number one, I honestly love Bioshock as a lore and in a video game. There's just so many elements in the game that could translate well into a film or limited series, but then also get backfire on them. There's a lot of, you could say, different commentaries on different things, a little, between the high society, low society. There's just so many things in here, like from all the Adam and Eve, how even the first game questions you, who is Andrew Ryan? Who is Andrew Ryan and why did he build Rapture? You're like, no, it's the man in Russia. It belongs to all that. And honestly, I honestly think that's a cool idea for Rapture alone. Even something for City in Columbia, that is spoiler alert for Bioshock Infinite. That is actually Booker DeWitt as Zachary Comstock. In an alternate timeline, imagine a if Booker DeWitt did take the baptism, he becomes Zachary Comstop, and all the latest stuff that happens in Bioshock Infinite happens to take place because Booker DeWitt takes the baptism. After all, Booker DeWitt did state that go back to where Zachary Comstock was born. Go if I do this, I can kill Zachary Comstock. I can keep my daughter Elizabeth. Who's not Elizabeth or Anna. That's her biological name, Anna. Or I could keep Elizabeth. That's just his daughter, much older, grown up. But at the same time, it's like, all right, Booker, you want to smother Zachary Constop? Here's your chance. Here's how you do it. And it's like, oh shit, he took the baptism. That's no way. So if he wanted to do it, he had to do it in a timeline where Booker DeWitt does not exist and where Zachary Comstock doesn't exist. Hell, that's why when Elizabeth says he's Booker DeWitt, he's Zachary Comstock, and then it's like, no, I'm both. Honestly, I felt like that was fucking badass. That was cool, and it leaves you on that cliffhanger note, like, what the hell happened? Because you see all the other Elizabeth disappear and whatnot. And honestly, I think that was interesting, leaving one alone, thinking that it's the timeline that he got to keep her in. Yes, no, until you get Burial at Sea. In fact, in Burial at Sea even answers that age-old question: how in the world did God? I can't. His name keeps forgetting me, but the secondary antagonist in that game, get the code, get the answer to the ultimate question. Stop. Would you kindly stand? Kneel. Would you kindly? The man chooses, a slave obeys. That You know that interesting question. But then again, let's go with things that are pros and cons that I think could translate really really well into a Bioshock adaptation. I think one of the things that can't translate really well is really why build the utopia? Why would you build it? I think that's the thing that could be honestly awesome and pretty cool to answer in a way like why was Rapture built? What was Columbia built? What this new utopian society that you live in was built? Why did everybody come here? Why did it flood here? You know, why is the FBI on their ass? The CIA, you know, KGB, all that, all that stuff. And I think honestly that would be a cool question to answer too at the same time. Like, why are we here in the city? Who are we looking for or whatnot? The con side of that thing is because this is going to be a film, which I think they really should ditch the film idea and really go for a limited series or like an anthology series to answer more and more questions as long as you go. Because you're only going to have yourself either 2.5 hours or 3 hours to get this all run down. I don't really see a film working in a 90-minute session unless it's a really tight screenplay written by someone who can really do this for a living, can do it well enough down there. A near 2.5 hour, 3 hour film, maximum top, you know, Lord of the Rings style, or you know, Zack Snyder 4 hour cut of Justice League. I think that's more fitting for a Bioshock film. Something less than 2.5 hours is not gonna really get you all that questions answered down. In fact, I even say the length of Dune and Lord of the Rings is more my style right there for a film like this. Plus, you can leave answers open for a potential sequel. Definitely 2K and you know Take Two Interact. You know Take Two Interactive. You know they're on this, so I'm not too sure. I would say if they were to get any writers, I would really say get one of the writers who wrote for either Bioshock One, Two, or Infinite, because I think they have a better handling of the material, so things can work out and translate that way. A con that is not going to work out is how in the world are you going to explain Adam? Think an Adam and Eve. Think really tough and hard about it. How are you going to explain all the power ups? How are you going to explain, like, how do they do this? You know, that's in for the gameplay. So, how are you really going to translate that to film? Now, definitely, I see my Marvel and see my DC stuff and a lot of indie stuff and all my anime like novels and video games that translate well in that format. Translating that to a film, it's either gonna be really clunky to like, it's not as cool to see when you see the first transformation. Obviously, you know, Bioshock One, we got the careful now. Your DNA code is being reconstructed for for the Atom because you got shot jockey, and not to mention in Bioshock Infinite they took that up to the next level to actually see like what the hell is happening to your hand. Like imagine a swarm of bees coming out of your hand. You're like for the first time. How is an actor and actress gonna react to that? Or you know if their hands are burning, how are they gonna see the flesh and bones and the veins of their skin? You know, and all that stuff. So that's gonna be a tricky thing to translate very well. And like, how many power ups and abilities am I gonna see? Really, probably not a whole lot. So that's definitely a tricky thing to really nail down and really nail down this Bash. A con is you really gotta build up this world. When you think about it, in your 10 hour, 12 hour games, like you forgot how long these games are really. Before Bioshock 2 and Infinite, you know, they're linear, but they were so semi sandbox. Like you only got your little playground a little bit. Like you can do whatever you want in there. You can, you know, high risk, high reward. Go over here. I can possibly find some power ups and some atoms and eves and health potions and everything. You can learn about more of the world. Hence why they had all those radio diaries out there to help expand upon the world. Like before the fall of Ratchet, before Columbia started collapsing, even before and after things started collapsing, coming down. That's what's interesting. In a video game format, that works so much better. It helps you build the lore, the relationship between these characters, and how things are transforming and dynamic in relationships. In a film, you can still do that if it's the right length. Again, 2.5 hours, 3 hours, 4 hour long film for a Bioshock movie, perfect. Right then and there, you got yourself a sweet ass movie. As a limited series, however, or if this was a show, Heck yeah, you got multiple seasons to build up all these characters before the fall of any civilization. Perfect, great. The downside, even to that, is how long am I gonna be waiting to this? I do like some shows as a series, and I've been stating it a lot lately. For some of these video game adaptations, they work better as a show. Like Dota with Dota Dragon Blood, Castlevania with, and for instance, the first four seasons of Castlevania, when Warren Ellis was writing the screenplay, or even like Arcane, League of Legends, those work so much better because not only were they animation, they had the right director, team, writers, score, cast, everything about those three shows I just mentioned worked out so well, but they were animation, 2D animation, or even like a hybrid style with Arcane. Those work out so much better. Even for a big long ass game like Dragon's Dogma, I kind of have a guilty pleasure with the Dragon's Dogma anime, but that's not saying too much. I've been trying to get back into Dragon's Dogma, and maybe it'll get picked up later for me. But for the moment, I know Dragon Dogma fans weren't too happy with that CGI adaptation. I mean with CG, it looked pretty good for the most part, but again, you're taking like hundreds of hours in Dragon's Dogma to get to get that final battle and battling all these monsters, learning about the world, what the heck are the Arisons, who the hell are you? It doesn't translate too well for an anime adaptation. That is, in my opinion, could this Bioshock movie be great? It could be great. Get the right screenwriters, get the right director, cinematographer. You can get it. Like imagine Guillermo del Toro directing this movie, or Denis Villeneuve, fame of Sicario, Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, Prisoner, the recently 10 Oscar nominated film Dune. Hell yeah, sign me up for that stuff. But I'd rather see this as a show, and even some more things that kind of does not translate too well. All the crazy cycles. When you think about it, I think I'm more in the mix area for that. All the crazy cycles down there, that could translate very well. I could see a lot of crazy actors and actresses getting up and ready to go for this show or film. But it's kind of like, are they going to be too crazy, too psychos? Are we not going to have any sane ones out there? Because some of them are singing, and some of them have some funny dialogue. I'll admit it not. Even when I was exploring Rapture, couldn't stop laughing a few times at what the hell they were saying. At the same time, it just comes down to really how the hell you translate a game like Bioshock onto the big screen, especially on a streaming site like Netflix. I mean, Netflix has been killing out with these video games adaptation lately. Four perfect seasons of Castlevania, two awesome seasons of Dota's Dragon Blood, and how even Arcane is now getting a season two. Sign me up. Hell, League of Legends can get so many adaptations right now that I wouldn't even care. Different nations, different hero, different legends. Like sign me up for that. Hell, people cried for Jinx at the end of episode 9 for Arcane. I think that says a lot right there. How wonderful the writers knew what they were doing. But that being said, this is one man's opinion and thought. Like I just think I'm willing to give it a shot. If it's done great, awesome, hell yeah. If it ends up being dog shit, then it's like, well, then they could have left it alone. Or 2K could at least wait and got another game out there, and then wait, then see if we want to do one. Or it could have been a limited series. But I just think the best approach to this is to just wait and see. I want this to be successful, but I don't know. Bioshock has got too many few moving parts for me to really be like, I'm fully on board of this movie yet. But only time will tell. It could be wrong. It could be a masterpiece, or it could be bad. Let me know your thoughts and comments below. Until next, guys. I'll see you then.